You step outside. Nothing unusual, just a normal evening, a normal walk. The air is quiet, the light fading. To you, this is just another ordinary moment. But somewhere ahead, something has already stopped moving. A bird, mid-call, goes silent. A rabbit's ears lock toward the trail. A fox beneath a branch lifts its head and freezes. None of them have seen you yet. None of them need to. You haven't made a sound. But the moment your presence entered the air, something changed. Instantly. Completely. The easy answer is the one most people believe. Animals fear humans because humans hunt. Of course they run, but that answer is too small. Animals react to hikers who've never carried a weapon. They react to voices with no one in sight. They react to footprints left hours ago, to scent drifting through trees long after a person has gone. In some places, animals shift when they feed, where they sleep, which paths they use. Not because of what a human did, but because a human had simply been there. So the real question isn't why animals run from us. It's what did humans become that made the rest of nature start rearranging itself around us? To understand that, we have to go back to a time when humans were just one more animal in a world full of predators, each playing by a set of rules. Every predator before us had a rhythm. A lion hunted mostly at night. A crocodile was a threat only near water. A wolf pack moved with the seasons. Prey animals learned these rhythms, learned where danger lived, when it slept, how far it could reach. Survival was pattern recognition. Know the rules, and you could live alongside the danger. Then, one animal broke every rule. It wasn't the strongest or fastest. No claws built for killing, no venom, no armor. By every physical measure, it should have been prey. But this animal hunted in daylight when other predators rested. It hunted in groups. It hunted with tools, sticks, stones, spears that extended its reach far beyond its body. And when it failed, it remembered what went wrong and came back smarter. Scientists have a name for what this animal became. Not just a predator, a super predator. And that's measurable. In 2015, researcher Chris Darabont and his team analyzed data from over 300 studies on human hunting worldwide. Humans kill large carnivores, lions, leopards, bears, wolves, at roughly 9 times the rate those animals kill each other. And in the ocean, humans harvest adult fish at rates about 14 times higher than natural marine predators. That detail matters. Most predators don't target the strongest individuals. They take the young, the injured, the slow. Humans reversed that. We targeted adults. We targeted the strong. We removed the very individuals other predators usually left alone. But what does that look like in real time to a real animal? In 2017, researchers led by Justine Smith at UC Santa Cruz studied mountain lions, an animal with little reason to feel vulnerable. Near active feeding sites, they set up hidden speakers. At some, they played frog sounds. At others, ordinary human conversation. No shouting, no gunshots, just people talking. The response was immediate. When the lions heard human voices, they fled the kill more often, waited longer to return, and their total feeding time dropped by more than half. Think about what that means. This was an animal that had already done the dangerous work, alone with food in its own territory, and a recorded voice was enough to make it walk away. In 2019, researcher Justin Sarasi asked a bigger question. Not whether one animal fears humans, but what happens to an entire ecosystem when the sound of us moves through it. His team broadcast human speech across a stretch of wilderness and watched. Large carnivores avoided certain areas entirely. Medium animals, foxes, raccoons, became harder to detect, foraging less. And then, lower down the chain, small mammals began to move and feed more, because the animals that normally threatened them had pulled back first. A human voice didn't just scare one species. It rippled outward, rearranging who moved, who hid, who ate, and who waited, without a single person ever appearing. Ecologists call this a landscape of fear. Fear isn't just something inside one animal in one moment. It becomes part of the environment itself. A trail becomes avoided. A water hole becomes something only visited at night. A patch of grass simply stops being worth the risk. We don't have to hunt an animal to change its life. Sometimes we only have to be nearby. But why is it specifically us? Lions are dangerous too. The answer isn't strength, it's unpredictability. A lion can't hunt everywhere. A crocodile can't follow you onto dry land. Humans have no such rhythm. We can walk quietly through a forest just to enjoy it, or arrive with traps, lights, and machines. To an animal whose survival depends on reading patterns, that unpredictability is the one thing nature has no defense against. And here's where it gets stranger. We're not as separate from this as we think. Walk alone through the woods after dark. The trees look different. Small sounds sharpen. Your body listens before your mind explains. That feeling isn't irrational, it's inheritance. For most of human history, darkness mattered, and that response kept us alive. When you feel it, your body says, something might be watching me. When an animal feels it about you, its body says something more absolute. The thing that changes everything is here. For you, the feeling passes by morning. For them, it can shape where they live for generations. So what made humans capable of this? Across an entire entire ecosystem, often without us appearing at all. Not one thing, a combination. Endurance gave us range. Cooperation gave us scale. Tools gave us distance. Language gave us memory that outlived any one person. Culture let us change behavior in a single lifetime, not generations. No other animal ever had all five at once. We define ourselves by what we've built since: cities, art, medicine, music, and that's real. But to a deer in a clearing, none of that is the first fact about you. The first fact is older. Humans arrive and risk changes. So tonight, when you step outside, remember what's happening just beyond what you can see. A bird that goes quiet too early. A deer that lifts its head before you've made a sound. A fox that simply isn't there anymore, though you never saw it leave. None of that is about you, personally. It's about what your species has meant, for longer than memory, written into instincts that have no use for memory at all. We told ourselves we left the wild behind, but somewhere out there, right now, something is listening. And it never stopped. If something out there's already paying attention to you, maybe it's time you started paying attention back. Subscribe to keep exploring the hidden rules nature plays by, and if this one changed how you see the world, hit like. It helps more than you'd think.